Hey everyone, my name is Liam and this is my top 10 games of 2015 list. I'd like to mention first off that there are two big omissions from this list in Fallout 4 and Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm going to do separate videos explaining why, to me, they aren't the Game of the Year material. Suffice to say, I'm not particularly fond of those games. The criteria for this list is that it has to have been released in 2015. Handheld and mobile games are excluded unless they have a PC/console release. This isn't to say that these type of games have no validity or quality, it's just that I haven't played any of those games this year. Also, games that have been remastered or re-released are not included. This means the Uncharted collection will not be making an appearance, even though it's fantastic. Finally, there are a couple of Nintendo games on this list. Due to Nintendo's footage sharing policies on YouTube, I will not share any footage of those games. And instead I'll show footage of games made by publishers who support small content creators like myself. The games included here are my personal top 10 games that I've had the most fun with this year, and if your list is different, it doesn't make it wrong, and this is entirely subjective. Be sure to let me know what your top games of the year are, and say why in the comments below. So let's get started.
10.
Witcher 3 is a fantastic game. It has a diverse, beautiful and exciting world to explore. It has a great plot, it has fun combat, and plenty of side quests to get lost in. The highlight for me is the Witcher contracts themselves, where you track and hunt down various beasts for rewards. The game has shortfalls in my opinion, which leaves it at number 10 in this list. The levelling system removes the ability to take missions in the order that you choose, and I never felt like my choices had that much consequence in the overarching plot. CD Projekt Red has also taken a good guy approach with the way it has handled its business model. It had free day one DLC including new Witcher missions and costumes, and has been updated with a lot of free content since. Developers and publishers can learn a lot from the way these guys handle their business.
Number 9.
At number 9 is Until Dawn. Until Dawn was somewhat of a surprise hit. In the mould of Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls, Until Dawn is a throwback to classic slasher movies such as Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th and Halloween. Each choice you make in the game has a consequence, and even if those consequences aren't immediately apparent, they will leave an effect on the story later on down the line to give you one of many different endings. It is entirely possible to get all of the teens to survive, and it'll take more than one playthrough to see all of the different possible outcomes. Whilst the story takes a turn for the crazy around 3/4 of the way through, and the game isn't all that long, it's a lot of fun and a game that PS4 owners should definitely go and give a try.
Number 8.
At number 8 is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. After a low point in the series with Unity, the Assassin's Creed developers have come back with a bang with Syndicate. Featuring a brother and sister combo, each with their own play style, the game is set in Industrial Revolution Victorian London. The city is fantastically recreated with loads to explore, and the story is a lot more engaging than in previous entries. The combat system is much the same as the previous entries, but there is a lot more of an emphasis on vehicular combat than in the previous entries, with escort missions and such. One cool new feature also is the grappling hook, which makes traversal considerably easier. The game is still laden with microtransactions and requiring resources that are bought with real money to get new gear in the game, all of which can be grinded for in-game if you choose to. The stripped down Assassin's Creed experience after the bloated bug-filled mess that was Unity is a welcome return to grace.
Number 7.
At number 7 is Dying Light. Somewhat overlooked due to the release being at the very start of this year, Dying Light is a great game. A mix of Dead Island and Mirror's Edge, this open world RPG is simple, pure fun. Based around upgrading your character and crafting your weapons to wreck zombies. The game has a fun nighttime risk-reward mechanic where all the zombies get a buff at nighttime. So if you venture out, you'll get XP much faster, but your chances of death are much higher. And if you die, you lose some of your XP. The story is pretty forgettable, with one of the worst ending sequences I've played in a long time, but with the wealth of side content and the enjoyable combat, you can overlook this and have a fun gameplay experience at its core.
Number 6.
At number 6 is Rise of the Tomb Raider. In a year where AAA games seem to have a large focus on open worlds or multiplayer focused experiences, Rise of the Tomb Raider was a fresh breath of air. An 8-hour, concise, well-paced and exhilarating game with beautiful landscapes, great sound design and engaging gameplay. I beat the game in one sitting as the game was addictive and kept me wanting more. The star of the show were the tombs themselves, with well thought out clever puzzles and rewards which impacted the main game. It's a huge shame that the game was limited to Xbox One through the timed exclusivity, because this game should be played by any fan of adventure games. It's coming out in 2016 to PC and PS4, so I implore you to pick it up when it comes out on the platform of your choice.
Number 5.
At number 5 is Rocket League, another surprise hit this year. This game somewhat came out of nowhere. Releasing for free on PlayStation Plus, the game garnered critical acclaim for its fantastic blend of small team battles based around physics-based car football. The gameplay is the star of the show, where you are in direct control of your vehicle, and every goal or miss here is directly down to you. This game is phenomenal fun, and is being constantly supported by the devs with new stages, new cars, and new modes. The game also supports cross-platform multiplayer between PS4 and PC, meaning that you can get in on games with your friends no matter where you own it. It's huge amounts of fun, and you owe it to yourself to play it with your friends, regardless of whether you like football or not.
Number 4.
At number 4 is Super Mario Maker. This game is amazing. I haven't played a game that I've both loved and hated so much as this in ages. It's a game that heavily relies on its community to create content, much in the same way that Little Big Planet did. The gameplay is tight, pure Mario, and the 100 Life Mario Challenge is a stroke of genius. Putting the tools of creating a Mario level in the hands of the Nintendo community has led to the creation of some fantastic levels, and also to some rage-inducing ones as well. I challenge anyone to do a 100 Life expert run and not swear at least once. I'm almost certain it's impossible. The game has been supported with new patches which introduce new features for creators such as checkpoints, which have been sorely needed, new items and new level hazards. All Wii U owners should have this in their library.
Number 3.
Speaking of other must-own Wii U titles, in at number 3 is Splatoon. Everybody should own this game. An incredibly deep and rewarding multiplayer shooter is not something you would associate with Nintendo. When you see footage, you can't imagine seeing it anywhere else. The game was sparse at launch, but has been updated on almost a weekly basis with new weapons and maps, giving players constant reasons to come back. The mechanics are fantastic, with each weapon requiring its own play style, making learning new weapons a joy. The multiplayer is phenomenal fun, although getting into games with friends still needs work. The talk of it being an esports worthy title is testament to its longevity and long-term value. It's the best squid simulator of 2015, and I urge you to try it.
Number 2.
In at number 2 is Bloodborne. It's hard to describe Bloodborne in 1 minute, but I'm going to try. You're going to die a lot. You're going to swear a lot. You're going to rage a lot. You're going to admire the beautiful scenery and the amazing soundscapes. You're going to look at the bosses and think, holy crap, how on earth am I going to kill that? You're going to feel an intense wave of satisfaction and relief when you finally beat that boss that's kicked your ass 20 times in a row. You're going to love the satisfying and fast-paced combat that is visceral and rewarding, challenging but never unfair. And finally, you're going to do yourself a favour and you're going to pick up the Old Hunters DLC and you're going to go through the suffering all over again. As soon as I had played this game, I knew there was only one choice this year for what is the best game of 2015, and it's this game. This game is a roller coaster. It's as close to perfection as I've ever experienced in a game, and it's easily my top 10 games ever made, let alone games that have been made this year. The game has its own set of rules, and when you think you've learned those rules, it throws them out the window just because it can. Underneath the deceptively simple retro graphics, which in themselves are beautiful, lies a deep, complex and incredibly clever game. The game knows what you are doing, and more importantly, it remembers. Decisions that you make, no matter how small, will come back. Whether they hinder or help you is down to how you play and what you choose. There are different outcomes to this story, and each time you play through the game remembers what you did previously, and that affects the dialogue, and certain actions will only happen based on previous playthroughs. And then there's the music. The soundtrack in this game is just something else. I challenge you to find a better theme from a video game this year than the Wrong Number theme, or one of the many battle themes. The music is just so damn good. You owe it to yourself to play this game. It's not expensive. You'll hate yourself during a genocide run, you'll question yourself, and you'll question life. Getting to meet the amazingly well written characters of this game has been my greatest gaming pleasure of this year. That has been my top 10 games of 2015. My name is Lim. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you let me know what your top 10 is in the comments below, and I'll see you guys soon.